Sporadic gunfire was heard on Wednesday in Chad's capital close to the headquarters of an opposition party, which the government blames for a nighttime assault on the offices of the Internal Security Agency that resulted in multiple fatalities. The sound of automatic weapons prompted residents to evacuate the area in central N'Djamena, where the Socialist Party Without Borders, or PSF, has its primary office and was encircled by the military. Military trucks belonging to the Presidential Guard were also observed making their way to the party headquarters, as seen by an AFP journalist. Since around noon, reporters from AFP noted that the cell phone network and internet services were interrupted. A PSF official who requested to remain anonymous informed AFP via telephone about the presence of Kalashnikov rifles and tear gas canisters near the party headquarters. The assault on the security offices occurred following the arrest of a PSF member who was accused of an attempted assassination on the President of the Supreme Court, according to a statement from the government. The statement indicated that the situation seemed to have taken a dramatic turn, with a deliberate attack by accomplices of this individual led by elements of the PSF and at their forefront, the president of this movement, Yaya Dillo, against the state security offices. The situation is now completely under control, declared the government. The individuals responsible for this act have been apprehended or are being pursued and will face legal action. Dillo, the leader of the PSF party and a staunch critic of Chad's transitional president, his cousin Mohammed Idris Deby Itno, has denied any involvement in the incident. In a statement to AFP, he labeled the accusation a lie, asserting, "I wasn't present. The aim is to prevent me, to physically eliminate me, to instill fear in me so that I don't go to the election," Dillo remarked. He previously denounced the charges of an attempted attack on the Supreme Court president as fabricated, brought to justice. The assault on the security offices took place a day after Chad announced that a presidential election would occur on May 6th, which both Deby Itno and Dillo plan to compete in. Those attempting to disrupt the democratic process underway in the country will face prosecution and will be brought to justice, proclaimed the government on Wednesday. Deby Itno assumed control of Chad at the age of 37 when the military declared him transitional president following the death of his father, Idris Deby Itno, who was killed while combating rebels in 2021. The elder Deby Itno had seized power in a coup in 1990 and governed the desert nation with an iron fist for 30 years. Mohammed Deby Itno vowed to return power to civilians and organize elections within 18 months, but later extended the transition period by another 2 years. The conclusion of the transition period was rescheduled to October 10th this year. The Cadian opposition has urged the transitional president not to seek office in the Central African nation, which is ranked as the second least developed worldwide, according to the United Nations. The primary opposition and civil society coalition Wakitama has accused the international community, particularly former colonial power France, of endorsing dynastic succession. Yaya Dillo was a presidential candidate in 2021, running against his uncle, Idris Deby Itno. Dillo fled the country in February of that year after security forces attempted to detain him at his residence. The commando-style assault resulted in multiple fatalities, including that of his mother and one of his sons. He was accused by Idris Deby Itno's regime of leveling corruption allegations against the First Lady. In mid-January, the ruling Patriotic Salvation Movement, or MPS party, endorsed the transitional leader as its candidate for the presidential election. He had informed the African Union that he would not participate, yet a new constitution adopted in a December referendum permits him to do so.